Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Future Dimensions 360. As you guys know, in our last three tutorial, we are learning about use effect hook. How to implement use effect hook. There is one point to be noted. There was use effect hook runs in every render and re-render of your functional component. Later on, we had discussed how to run useEffect conditionally. After that, in the third part of this useEffect tutorial, we had learned how to run useEffect single time. So you guys had learned two phases of class lifecycle method, mounting phase and update phase in functional component. In this tutorial, we will be learning how to use unmounting phase in functional component, or how we can achieve the functionality of unmounting phase in functional component. For that one, I will be implementing one example in which you guys can understand it in a better way. So this is the same code that we have it from our last tutorial. What I have to do is I have to wrap this counter inside a container, and that will mount, or you can say that will show this component in our DOM on conditional basis. For that one, what I have to do is I will say counter container.js, and in this one RFCE React functional component, in which I will say const, and I will say show and set show, for example, equals to use state hook, and in that one I will be passing true value. So when this function is true, that you have to do is when the value for show is true, I will say is show. Wait a while. Is show and is show. Once the value is show is true, you have to do what is you have to show hook counter 1. Otherwise, don't show hook counter 1 like this. So what I have to do here is I have to create a button. What this button will do is I will say on click event, what I have to do, arrow function, and then I will say set is show equals to is show. Just toggle the value for is show every time. So I'll say component comp toggler. Sorry, toggler. So whenever you will click on this button, what it will do is it will show hook counter and it will hide hook counter. As soon as the value gets true, the hook counter will appear into the DOM. As soon as the value is false, the hook counter will start disappearing. So let me go ahead and try to comment out this hook counter and try to import counter container inside my app.js file. Let me go ahead to my browser and let's reload it. You can see comp toggler is appearing. I am moving the mouse and you guys can see log mouse position function is again and again calling as soon as the mouse is moving. As soon as I will click on component toggler, it will hide the component. So once the component is being hidden, ultimately what it will happen is this function should be removed from the DOM. This function shouldn't call because it is the part of hook counter 1, and the hook counter 1 is hidden as the value is false here, and you know that the hook counter is hidden, the value is false, so it will not call. Let me try to move it over the DOM. You guys can see still that 736 times this function is calling again and again. This is a sort of memory leak in React application. Like you removed the component, but you didn't clean up the functionality of that component. How you can do that? Let me go ahead and show you in the class component first, then we will achieve that one in our functional component. You have a function called component will unmount, in which you can remove the functionality. How you can remove the functionality? Just simply, instead of add event listener, you have to write remove event listener. This is what you can do to remove the functionality from the DOM, or you can clean up the code by using unmounting phase of your class component. What about hook counter or hooks in useEffect? What you have to do here is you can see that hook is taking a callback as first argument. So this callback have a feature of returning a function. That function, whatever you will return from this callback, will be executed as soon as the component will unmount or component will be removed from the DOM. That will run a cleanup for you. Let's go ahead and try to do that. Return, I will return an arrow function here, and this arrow function, what it will do is remove the event listener. What is that event listener will remove? Log mouse position function will be removed from the document. Let's hit save and go to our browser. Let's try to reload. First, the value for the toggler is true. You guys can see X and Y coordinates, and you guys can see the logs are appearing. 209 times. Overall, it's 287 times appear. As soon as I will remove component toggler, you guys can see 297 times the log appeared here already. Now I am moving the mouse toggler again and again, mouse on the screen or DOM. It's not appearing any kind of log. There is no log appeared in my console. So this is what how you can clean up the use effect. Let me go ahead and show you again. Any kind of function that is returned from the use effect hook is always a cleanup function, and that will be executed on the time of unmounting phase in React JS functional component. I hope you guys understand. Please don't forget to like and subscribe our channel. Thank you. Allah Hafiz.